From the princess too.
All right.
Yes, madam. And Dr. Ladan.
Have you got the transcript?
Madam, we are told they are processing it.
My Lord, sir. Before the cross-examination starts, I have certain things to say, sir.
Huh?
He has certain things to say before the cross-examination.
Yes.
And the
Have
issue
they reminded you of your oath?
Sir?
Have they reminded you?
Yes, sir.
All right, then.
On the issue of the summons, sir, nobody came to my
Welcome
house
to
for any
NTA
summons.
Plus, Nigerian Television Authority. We are here at the Women Development Center here in Abuja, venue of the public sitting of the Oputa Commission. We are now going live, and on the witness box is Major Fadipe, ADC to Lieutenant General Oladipo Dija. Well, in Lagos, he testified, but some of the counsels were not able to cross-examine him. And so he has been brought back to face some of these counsels in cross-examination. My name is James Oparekocha. Thank you for joining us live on the Oputa Commission.
There is no doubt about it. Major Mustafa is my godfather. We've been together since 1981 when I joined the Nigerian Defense Academy.
This is an aside.
No, sir.
Muslims have godfather and godmother.
No, it's just typical. It's typical that
My Lord, I think the witness should be patient. Don't jump the gun.
Just wait, sir.
Listen.
What is
You be
it's being recorded. Everything
I want
is
to make
being
something
recorded.
first.
So, this is not a court scene. So we allow anything to go in. Go on.
Sir, it does happen that in 1993, when General Dia was appointed Chief of Defense Staff, that was the time I was posted to him as a security officer, not by anybody, but by his military assistant, Colonel Shoda. Is alive today. He called me that he knew I am not in the intelligence corps, and his boss needed a security officer. Would I want to work with him? I said, well, it's a military posting. And he called me for interview, and everything was carried on. Before then, I do visit Major Mustafa. Like I said, we've been together since '81. I knew him through another lieutenant colonel. So I went to his house after the interview and all. Then he asked me, he said, when are you reporting? I said, to where? He said, don't you think I know? I said, to your new boss, of course. He said, the man told him. I said, what did he tell you? He said, General Dia came to him and asked that somebody has been posted to him as a security officer, that what does he feel about him? And Mustafa said, he said, if it's Captain Fadipe, you can go to sleep. That was the reply of Mustafa to General Dia. So I was shocked and baffled. When I got to the office, I called Colonel Shoda. I said, look, how will Oga go to a captain to find out if I'm competent to work for him? Then he just said I should overlook that. So I was surprised now when he is now saying that it was Major Mustafa that posted me to him. That was unfortunate. So we can carry on now.
Now, have you ever been under the training or command of Major Mustafa?
There is no way I would have been under the training of Major Mustafa. Major Mustafa is 28th course in academy. I am 30th course. So it's just one step. So there is no way we would have said, oh, there was a time I was under. We attended staff college together. So the issue of whether I worked, I was a student does not come in.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself. What I am asking you is very simple. Major Mustafa is your godfather.
Well, if you like to say so, he's my godfather.
If he likes to say so.
If you elect to say so, he's my godfather.
Okay, you are his godson.
Yes, because he's senior to me in the army.
That's why he's your godson.
Yes, and even General Dia too has a lot of godsons in the army. So,
now what do you understand by the expression godson in the military context?
look, I have told you, even you might be older than the person, even in age, but once he seniors you in military rank, he becomes your godson. He becomes your subordinate. So there is no other terminology to it than senior to junior relationship. That is what we know in the army. And that's why I said, like the last time I gave evidence, I call Mormoni my godson. Because he was far junior. In fact, he did not even meet me in NDA.
So who posted you as a CSO to General Dia? Yes. State clearly. Who posted you?
Because that...
You answered it. Repeat the answer. You answered it before.
Colonel
So repeat the answer.
No, he said posting now.
Who appointed who?
He said posting. If you say posting,
Who posted you?
it was the the Directorate of Military Intelligence that posted me. But it was Colonel Shoda that appointed me because it was a personal appointment. Personal appointment, not a staff officer appointment. So it was after they were clear that I can work with them, it was the office that sent my name to my headquarters for me to be posted to them. If you go into the record of defense headquarters, you will find it there today.
Now, you remember 13th of December, 97.
Very well.
Can you explain the event of that day?
Well, there was a bomb blast.
Now, on the 12th of December 1997,
Yeah.
you approached General Oladipo Dia and took leave not to accompany him to Makodi on the grounds, wait a minute,
I'm waiting.
on the grounds that you wanted to do the anniversary of your wedding and a naming ceremony. Is that true?
Sir, if you don't know, I don't want you to talk out of ignorance.
Please, with all
Look,
that
no, sir,
expression.
wait.
Hello.
Look, sir, you
Major
said you...
Fadipe, please control yourself. I'm not here to
Hold
be
it.
insulted.
You asked me a question, I
hold
wanted
it,
to
hold
answer
it.
you.
Yes, if you ask a question, wait for his answer.
Yes, I will wait. My Lord, what I object to is the use of the expression ignorance. Let him answer his question. I am asking a question. He is to answer, not to say that I am ignorant. He should state the facts. It's very simple.
Look, if
I
you-
object, and I
My
want you
Lord,
to withdraw your expression.
My Lord,
to the answer.
I don't see anything wrong in that expression. I'm not a lawyer.
It is wrong. I'm saying it is wrong.
I'm coming, sir. Once I said ignorance, because if you are not ignorant of
Go
that
to
question,
the facts,
you
my
will not
friend.
answer that because there is no basis in it. Because if
You
General
have seen
Dia,
how a
I
senior
am
officer
coming
conducted
now.
himself.
Yes, because you see, I'm answering you the way the question comes. If General Dia sits down here today and he looks at me straight into my face, he cannot tell me that
Why?
I approached him on the 12th to not be there. If you want to know the genesis of what happened, I will tell you now.
Oh, yeah, say it, please. Say it.
Then no problem.
We want to know
That is
the
why
truth.
that is why I said,
Say it.
look,
Please, talk, Major Fadipe.
it was not even on the 12th. We were supposed to attend
Talk now.
the burial of
I will not take it.
General Onoja's mother.
Yes?
Now, as at that time, I got to know about this coup matter on the 9th of December. I have given that in evidence, except you want me to go over it again. Now, and that is why I'm so sad today, because I will not sit down on my own and said I want to carry out a coup. Impossible. But it was this same man that I've worked for all my life without
Please,
looking.
go
I
to
am
the-
no.
go to the
That is the best way I can answer my question. I am sorry. That is the
Don't tell
best
us
way.
philosophy.
Hold it. Whom are you referring to as this man?
Don't tell us philosophy.
Okay,
Whom are you
General Dia.
referring to as this man?
General Dia.
Oh, call him General Dia.
General Dia, that I worked for all my life without looking left and right, approached me about this coup matter, and he was so direct. He said,
I have not asked you a question
no,
on
that is the best way I can answer the
Okay,
question. My Lord, if you want me to
Ask about
cooperate,
the sequence of events.
My Lord.
And he's giving you the sequence.
My Lord, I
Please
think
silence. Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
My Lord, the evidence of Major Fadipe goes beyond Dia's interest. My learned friend should understand that this is not a court of law, a normal court of law. His evidence is of interest to Nigeria and Nigerians. We're here to get facts from this young man. Please do not stop him from telling us the truth.
my Lord, sir, my Lord, if you want me to cooperate with you, allow me to answer the questions the best way.
If you lie, don't
Look,
cooperate.
I am saying something. I have been sentenced to death for this kind of treatment. I was humiliated for over 15 months.
You are not
So
the only one.
it's not a matter of legality now. We are talking of truth.
Oh, yeah, tell the truth.
Now, General Dia told me that he was telling me about the coup. He was not asking for my opinion because he will be sending me to Ishaya. That was the way he put it.
Please, I'm asking you about 13th.
Wait now.
What
I am taking my time.
You will have to insist.
You
Let
ask a
him
question.
answer the question. You asked him about
I
sequence
am
of events.
I am laying a platform for that.
Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
Cancel.
Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
You see, my Lord, you are making.
Hold on. Cancel. You remember sometime last Friday, before you commenced addressing the commission, you did make the point, and rightly too, that this being a fact-finding commission, you are willing to cooperate so that we all hear the truth. I don't think this witness is doing anything more than that. You've asked him to give us sequence of events. We too will want to see the whole story as it were. Please allow him to state his story the way he considers it fit. Please.
So he said he was telling me specifically so that he will be sending me to Ishaya. From that moment, like I gave evidence.
No.
That I was putting it the way General Dia put it. That was General Bameyi. He said, so I became disturbed and disorientated. Now, what next to do? Meanwhile, he was not actually even telling me, even and General Adisa, the whole plans between himself and General Bameyi. We never knew that they had agreed to sprang the coup on the 13th. It was that morning on the 13th that General Dia himself called me and said, look, don't go with me. Go back to Adisa, tell him to get in touch with Ishaya, that I don't like that date, 13th again. And I asked him a question. I said, sir, what do you mean? He said, Odeni, you're making people when sorrow. You said you want me to talk with the whole of my mouth? So I said, okay, sir, but I still have to see you off to the airport. He said, okay, that's all right. And we put everything in place. But something happened that day. The plane was supposed to be positioned by 8 o'clock. The plane was not there. So I became worried. And if you know my former boss, when it comes to working, I mean, it is hell. I had no peace that time because he expected that it should have been, one thing about him is that he hates going to a function late. And he wants to warn you, make sure these things are properly put in place. Which I appreciated very well. And I was going up and down to see what was going on. My boys there were calling me that there was a plane there, but there was no pilot. Then after a long time, well, they told us that the plane is now positioned. And I told him, and we left. And before we now got into the airport, then the bomb exploded. I was the one that whisked him away from that place. I was the same person that picked the boy that was not dead to Gogolagda Special Hospital. I was the one that took my own personal money to make sure that nothing happens to that boy until we hear from him. If I know anything about that, will I go to that extent? That's why I said, don't talk out of ignorance. So that is it.
Now, on that 13th,
Yes, my Lord.
when you go to the airport,
Yes, my Lord.
you met some notable personalities
Yes, yes.
who are not military officers, like
No.
Alao Arishekola at the airport.
Yes, I've said that times with that number. He was there. A lot of people were there. They were traveling to another place.
And it was Arishekola who told you, go and identify the boys.
No. What Arishekola said is this. I am still going to say this. I have taken oath on the Bible. I am a child of God. General too can testify to it. All the members of his family can testify to this. There is no way I will lie against General Dia. It is not possible. Now, what Alhaji Arishekola said was this. He was the same person that ran to me. He said, Sheun, make sure that you get those boys. So he spoke to me in Yoruba. Make sure that you get those boys so that we know what was going on. Because one of them was still alive. And as at that time, one of my boys had already gone to the place to verify who were the boys that were involved in the bomb blast. So that was what Arishekola said.
Now, after the incident, or before then, General Dia had warned you, and sometimes when he heard that you got some money from Arishekola, that you should desist.
My Lord.
Is that true?
Far from the truth.
All
I
right.
wish General Dia is seated here today. And that's why I said a lot of us junior officers are still working for senior officers there, both in the civil life and the military life.
Okay.
I am coming, sir. If it is the way they will treat their subordinate, I don't think this Nigeria will move forward.
Now, did you personally, in your capacity as CSO to Chief of General Staff at that time, brief Major Mustafa after the bomb explosion?
Look, I was furious. I never briefed him.
Throughout?
The only time I wanted to talk to him was on the 17th of December. And you know why? If you want to, let me tell you why. We have discovered that something was wrong with that coup plan. This same general decided that everybody is crying up now. Somebody called him and said, look, you people are up to something. And it's like the head of state is aware. You have to do everything possible to stop it, or you get out of that plan. General Disa called me, and we all went to General. I went to General Dia, and I told him, sir, this is the situation on the ground now. He said no. He called somebody, and after a while, he now reassured me that all is well. You know, after about 3 attempts, I said no. I don't need to go down with this man since he does not want to listen to me. I made up my mind that night to go to Major Mustafa to let him know of what was going on. But when I got into the villa, something came upon me. And that's why if you are being led by the Spirit of God, you will never make mistake. I approached Major Mustafa. I wanted to talk to him. That thing, he said no. And I changed the topic. He's here on the 17th of December. And I left the villa. I met himself and Mohammed Abacha. And I left. So I never briefed him on the bomb blast. Although he was telling me that, Fadipe, I am disappointed in you. Something happened to you for about 1 week, about 3-4 days now. You never had something to come to me. I said, well, I am not interested. And I left. So I never briefed him about the bomb blast, and I never briefed him about the coup.
So
I thank God I never did.
if you are done,
So what would have happened now? Because if I had told him, they would say, okay, Fadipe, play along. How will I face now? What will be my situation now? But I thank God. You know what? I thank God that I passed through this ordeal with General Dia, even more than what he passed through. You understand? My family, what they passed through. My children, what they passed through. My brothers, what they passed through. And I'm happy for that.
Major Fadipe, let me ask again. You didn't know that the pilot of that plane had been changed overnight?
Why would I know? Because as at 6 a.m. that morning, that is the trend. The man called me, said, oh boy, are you people still going? I said, okay, if we are not going, I will tell you.
Now,
because he was a wing commander. So as at 6 a.m. that morning, the man still called me. The ADC to General Dia is alive today.
now, when you learned that the two boys who were involved were boys attached to Major Mustafa, what was your reaction? What step did you take?
You see, that's why I said, if General Dia had been here.
Just talk.
No, I'm coming.
He not be here. He's watching you now.
He's watching me.
Yes.
I just thank God that he's watching me. Now, I told him, I said, because he insisted, I said, look, we have to go. I said, sir, you cannot go. I said, you cannot go. Chika is here now. He's one of our staff officers there. Look at him there.
Leave him alone.
No, I know what I'm saying.
With
So
evidence.
they are all going to the aircraft. I was the one that told Dia, I said, sir, you will not go. Because those boys are Major Mustafa's boys. And I don't know what was going on.
Okay, not to waste time. Now, what advice did you give to the CJS after the bomb blast?
Look, there are some of his personal friends. Like when I evacuated him from the airport, and I took him away, and I handed him over to the boys.
You took him away to where?
No, look, I told the boy, I gave them instruction where to take him to. The man refused and said he should take him back to the house. I thank God that nothing even happened to him. Now I went to the Gagwalada hospital to make sure that I secured the other boy that was alive.
Now,
And wait, you ask a question now?
yes, I'm all
Let me
right with
finish.
your answer. I'm all right with your answer.
You are ready.
I'm all right with your answer.
You are right.
Got what I want. Now, okay, go on. Go on. Go on.
You see, when we go back, you see, when we go back to the house, right from Gogolada Hospital, yes. I called the house, and the boy said, Oga refused to follow them to where I directed them. That rather, he went to the house. So I said, I will be there now. So when I got to the house, I met him in one of the guest chalets. Two of his civilian friends were already talking with him, advising him that, you can get out now, because if that thing is from the other side, we don't know what will happen. That's from the CNC side. Okay. That was the way they put it.
From General Abacha.
Oh.
Be clear.
Uh-huh. So he said, if it's from that place, as you have said, it's better you leave now. And when Oga came to, I met them saying that thing. And Oga told them, said, look, don't worry. We will soon see to the end of this thing. I knew why he was saying so. Because I know the plan that was on the ground. I knew that any moment from then, because, you see, I know that General Bameyi and others were working on a plan. And I know he will be the head of state. Definitely, if he becomes the head of state, he can go deep into the matter. That's what he told his friends.
Okay. Now, on You advised General Oladipo Dia to go to his private guest house on that day.
No. What did you say?
Private guest house
When?
on 13th.
I asked him to go there.
Yes, you advised him.
He told you that I asked him to go to.
Answer my question.
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Now, I put it to you that in the evening of 13th December 1997, General Dia was in his private guest house where you, and that private guest house was not known to government officials. Okay. And you brought Generals Bamayi,
Yes.
Adisa,
Yes.
Magashi,
Yes.
Lieutenant Colonel Garba,
Yes.
and Lieutenant Colonel Riba
Yes.
to visit him.
Not 13th. 14th.
Pardon?
14th.
Thank you for the correction.
On Sunday.
Okay,
Let me tell you what happened.
tell me.
When I got back to Dia's house, General Dia's house, he asked me, he said, have you seen Adisa? I said, but I'm just coming from these other problems. He said, go there now, tell him to get Ishaya by all means. That's General Bameyi. And when I got to General Adisa's house, I met General Bameyi and all these people he has mentioned. I met all of them in General Adisa's house. So I said, sir, then General Bameyi said, Fadipe, you people are not going again? I said, sir, there's a new development. He said, what happened? And I narrated the bomb blast issue. So he now said, what message did Oga send again? I said, well, he just said I should get in touch with General Adisa to get in touch with you that he does not want 13th again. He said, okay, tell him we will see him tomorrow at the usual place. General Bameyi is here. And I went back to the house.
Okay.
And I went back. And I went back to General Dia.
Please silence.
To let him know that I have passed the instruction and that General Bameyi and others said they will be seeing you tomorrow so that they can conclude on what next line of action to take. And on the 14th, I was even in the church. I had a meeting. I had to rush down that night on the 7th, by 7 o'clock. And that's what they have been calling the final coordinating conference. And that's where almost every one of us were present.
Now, let me ask you, do you know Major Alkali?
Major?
Alkali.
I know him.
Now, can you explain the role he played during that period?
Well, since or anything again, now, if you know Major Alkali was MA or ADC to General Larewaju. Ever before I knew about the plot, his boss has been sending him to General Dia. You understand? I've been seeing him in the house. He has been bringing messages ever before I knew about that plot.
Do you know the type of messages?
How will I know?
Okay.
So, for me now to say, well, this is the role Alkali played, I don't know. All I know is that he has been coming to General Dia from General Leraju.
Okay, you also know Warrant Officer Koka.
He's my boy.
And Corporals Kotangura.
They are all my boys.
And Eddie Ebuno.
My boys.
Now, on the night of 28th December, 1997, you sent them to General Bamayi's house.
I've never denied that. I did.
Now, you sent them there to do what? With arms?
Look.
What, did they go there armed?
They went there with their normal pistol. Is normal with any BG, except even when he's asleep. So they were with their pistols, and I know why I was sending them.
Why?
To carry out the arrest of Major Mustafa. And if I might expatiate, on that 14th, when we said we had final coordinating conference, are you listening to me, sir?
Yes.
On that 14th, when we said we had that final coordinating conference, and the issue, even before then, they were saying bombing, killing, and the rest. The next day, I went to the office. I called General Dia. I said, sir, if you are so sure that the Chief of Army Staff and all the service chiefs and the GOCs are involved in this plot, for God's sake, why would you want to kill anybody? He said, but what is the best way to go it? I said, look, the only obstacle, and it's because we do not want any bloodshed at all, is Major Mustafa.
Okay, I put it to you, Major Fadipe.
I have not finished.
I put it to you, Major Fadipe.
I have not finished.
Okay, carry on. Carry on.
Please.
Now,
Hey.
I told, then he now asked me, I said, it's Major Mustafa. I said, are you going to go about it? I said, leave Major Mustafa to me. I will carry out his arrest, because what will it benefit me if he dies? Or what will it benefit everybody if General Abacha dies? That's what I told General Dia.
Okay.
And wait, sir. He was supposed to brief, because General Bameyi was the main planner of this coup.
Please.
Now,
Order, please. Order, please. Please, order. Silence. Please, silence.
I know definitely that,
Silence, please.
I know that definitely that my advice, General Dia wouldn't do anything with it except he tells it to General Bameyi. General Bameyi agreed. But unfortunately, on that day, because he knew what he was planning now, he now told General Dia, I said, look, I don't have any boys with me. Can you send your boys to carry out the arrest of Major Mustafa? Now, General Dia called me. And I asked him, I said, sir, why will the Chief of Army Staff tell you that he does not have boys with him? He said, look, Fadipe, I have told you, do everything, this thing must not fail. Send your boys there. And I called, because in fairness of those boys, and it was on their own strength, that the day I knew that this thing, the chiefs were down, I elected to say the truth, to get those boys out. Because right from the time they started working with me, they have been loyal. Okay. I called these boys. Yes, all these Koka, Egbunu, Ibrahim, Kotango, and the rest, I called them. They have been so loyal to General Dia and to myself. And I called them. I said, look, boys, you know there was a bomb blast, because I had to lie to carry out my own part of the assignment. And I said, look, you know there was a bomb blast, and we all know that that is from the other side. Abi, now, the service chiefs have agreed to arrest Major Mustafa. We want fact from him. You will go to the Chief of Army Staff now, and he will give you instruction what to do. Just arrest Major Mustafa and keep him. I will tell you later. And that was why, and the boys agreed. The only soul out of all of them that knew about the plot was Koka, because he was my closest person. And so when this thing happened now, I do not need to now chicken out, so that those boys now, without knowing what was going on, I will say, I don't know anything about this plot. Then even if we have been killed now, the boys will die with me, and their blood will now be on my own children. I say, never. I was ready to own up.
Now,
I'm coming. This is not, because the way you are taking it is not the issue of maybe antagonistic, because that was the language you used on the television when I had you. When you are in Jos, I called General Dia. I said, sir, the chiefs are down now. For God's sake, in the entire office, we were the only two that know about this thing. Only yourself and myself. For God's sake, other boys are languishing in this wahala. Let's own up. Go out there. That's what I told. I said, sir, go out there. Tell them that you did this thing. Let all these ones go. And General Dia told me, he said, look, if you have elected to die, you can go and tell them he cannot admit that he planned coup.
My Lord, I suppose I should be able to guide the witness. Now, Major Fadipe.
What do you mean by guiding the witness? Ask him questions, he will answer.
He
You
was
don't need to
just,
guide him.
My
No,
Lord,
no, no, no.
He's just talking generally. I don't want to interrupt.
Look, this is not
Now,
adversary proceeding.
Major Fadipe,
Yes, my lord.
what was your evidence of these boys before the SMT? You told the Special Investigation Panel that you sent them to collect gifts. I'm going to make a request for the production of your evidence before the SMT. Now, the second thing, because I want you to answer them together, how do you expect, with your experience, that one warrant officer and 2 corporals will be able to arrest a chief of army staff?
There were 7. No, not chief of army staff, mind you.
Or Mustafa?
Look,
How possible?
look, my lord. They were just to be there to assist chief of army staff in affecting the arrest of Major Mustafa, and there were 7.
Okay.
7 of them.
All right. Before the SMT, you said you sent those boys to collect gifts from...
I have said this 10 times to that number, that I have to stick out my neck to save.
What did you say there?
What?
Before the SMT?
I'm not going to lie. I told the SMT, and I told somebody, I said that was the only lie I lied throughout. I lied to them so that those boys can be saved.
So you...
And the boys today, they are alive, and they can come out and testify that this was the instruction I gave them.
You lied yourself.
But because if I do not say so, I will have jeopardized the life of those boys.
Thank you. Now, you also know the trial was conducted. It is in the power of God. Don't tell us theories. It's in the power of God. Listen. It's in God's power to save.
Yes, and it was God that saved me.
You don't need to lie to help God.
I say it's God that saved me.
Listen.
Not the lies, not anything.
Listen. You are changing your evidence. Now, listen. You agree with me. Let me just...
That what?
My Lord, let me just say this in reaction. You don't need to lie to help God to save a life. Hold on, let me speak. Just be quiet. You have your time to respond. You don't need to lie as a born-again Christian. If you say you are born again.
Yes, by the grace of God.
If your born again is to tell some little lies, you will end up in perdition. Go and read your Bible.
God has forgiven me that.
So that is that. You keep... Now, I put it to you that for whatever reason, you should, if you say you are a noble person and you are a man of integrity, you should really own up to truth. All this evidence you have given against Jonathan, how do you want us to know now that you didn't lie against him?
Look.
Since you could lie,
I am coming.
And you are saying openly, even on Bible, that you told lie.
Look.
Only one lie.
Wait.
One single thought.
Let me respond. I told you something. I said I was the one that sent those boys. I was the one that sent those boys. They never knew what they were going to do, that we are carrying out a coup. For God's sake.
Okay.
They never knew we were carrying out a coup. And if I must obey my boss, I must find a way. The way and manner I achieve my assignment is entirely my business. And when this thing has been like this, I have to look for every way to save those boys. And I never deny that I did not take part in the coup.
Just hold on. I just want you to have to confirm what I'm saying.
Yes.
I am really surprised that you could tell the whole world that you told lies to save people. And yes, my Lord, I want to put it to you. Listen, the Bible is not for fun. The Bible you are holding is not for fun.
Now, but you want me to talk?
No, hold on.
If you said, if you are talking about the Bible, if I commit a sin,
No, don't
I should be
give
able
us
to
theory.
confess.
We have a
Abi?
priest. Hello.
That is exactly what I have done. That because you asked a question, you said I lied to the SMT that those boys were going there